This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hello everyone. I can see here Anil and Sharma. Manas, could you please give your introduction one by one?
Hi all, I'm Anil. Right now I'm working on TrustLink as a support. Before that I had worked on SAP ATTP. Uh, I had like
Hello.
chance to work on. Hello, am I audible?
I'm not able to
Sam?
hear you. Let me see if my speakers are. Yeah, these are okay.
Other, can you
Can anyone
confirm?
say
Like,
anything? I'm not able to hear you guys.
hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Sam. Hello, hello.
Sam seems we can't. You can't hear us. Okay, can you please rejoin once, Sam? 2 minutes, guys. Okay.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, all right. Okay, so one by one, you guys can start your like introduction. Then we will
Yeah,
start the demonstration.
hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, Anil, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So currently I'm working on TrustLink in support.
Wrestling. Okay.
And before that, I had worked on SAP ATTP
Mm-hmm.
for for a tobacco company.
Okay.
It was project on tobacco. Okay, so in that it was like implementation and enhancement, like some testing features and
Okay.
adding new locations. Any new location is comes means like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that was like around 1 year I worked on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Perfect. Who is the next? I can see here the Sharma and Manas,
Yeah.
whomsoever wants start.
Hi Sam, this is Sharma. I right now I'm in EWM project. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so previously I was in Quebec. Okay, so I'm new to this ATTP concept.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks. Mm-hmm.
and then just I mean, if you throw some light towards to the EWM, that is good. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I-
I'll tell you that which are the areas is connected with the ATTP for
Mhm,
EWM and what are the main area where you can work on.
mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Thanks,
all.
Sharma.
Yeah.
Manas. Hey, Manas, can you unmute yourself and give your introduction?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, Manas, go ahead.
Can you hear? Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Sorry for that. Um, yeah, good evening to you. I think it's evening time for you, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I am currently working with Zydus and looking after TestLink. Earlier, I was there in Dr. Reddy's, so I pretty
Okay,
much have experience on SAP ATTP, but I just want to refresh it and have a hands-on practice of a server so that I can remember everything and start pursuing a career on SAP HTTP.
perfect. All right. Thanks everyone for your brief introduction. So let me introduce myself. My name is Sam. I'm based out in US East Coast. I have around more than 20 years of experience in SAP plus serialization, and it's a 8 years experience in particular serialization. When I say serialization, it includes all this ATTP, TraceLink, all these systems plus root level serialization process. So talking about like myself, I was an SD consultant, sales and distribution, and then I moved into the SAP ATTP in 2016. So when I moved into the serialization, my first project was to implement for the US because the US had the regulation for serializing all the prescribed drugs from the manufacturer's end. So manufacturer has to serialize it. So it was the mandate for 2017. It was delayed for 1 year, but prior to the compliance date, we have implemented successfully. Then immediately after that implementation, uh, we implemented for the Europe. There we had a different requirements because it was completely different than the US one. There was the regulatory body was also involved for the reporting compliance reporting. So I have successfully implemented that, and then since 2020 there was a various kind of requirement came and had to implement for US, but due to the COVID it was delayed, but on time we implemented VRS, and last year we implemented unit level traceability for US market. Along that I also implemented for Middle East. There we have a requirement for the Tatmin to connect and reporting all the requirements. Then simultaneously I was also working for Iveda. You may have heard about, since you guys are working from the India. So that was stopped due to non-readiness of Pharmaxil. Okay, they are still not ready, so they are continuously delaying year after year for this IVEDA process. But still, whomsoever are like exporting from India to outside of the world, like Europe or US, they have to serialize it. So that's what the companies who are in the India and exporting the goods to US, or not the goods, medicine, particular the prescribed medicine to US and Europe, they have to serialize it. Okay, so that is the compliance they have to follow for the DGFT. So a lot of things has been done. So that was a brief introduction of mine. So let's talk about this PPT. Let me put it in the full screen so that you guys can see it. All right, so we are going to train you guys in the latest version of SAP HTTP 3.4. So in this demonstration, we will be seeing that what are the market requirements, why the SAP HTTP is required, and SAP HTTP is quick version, and then business process, solution scope, GS1, content of the country package, why we have a separate country packages for HTTP, technical solutions, architecture and data model, because it is also required to understand how the data is being communicated between the system and different agencies. Integration, so we can integrate with the SAP ECC, with the ATTP to ECC, ATTP to EWM, or ATTP to S4HANA, and then deployment option. So let's talk about the first market requirement. As you know that serialization is rapidly increasing, and it is going to be, you know, rapidly mandate, or many countries has adopted the serialization process. So that's what it's rapidly increasing and requirements are there. So still we haven't achieved more than 50% of the serialization requirement in the world. Okay, so many countries are still to be implement the serialization, okay, concept. So that is here. But now if we want to sell the medicine to other country, they have to homogenize, like they have to make a uniform market requirement so that the data should be processed and goods should be or medicines should be authenticate, okay, in that country. So it should not be there like if there is a barcode in the medicine packet, other country, if it does not recognize, they should not think that it is a counterfeit product or the fake product. So making it uniform process, every countries are going to be adopt the serialization. Okay, same thing. And when country wise country, they are rolling out the serialization requirement, so our requirement will be always there. This is the module which pharmaceutical company must to maintain, because if they want to sell their product, they have to serialize it. If they do not serialize their medicine, they cannot launch and they cannot put it in the market. That is the mandatory requirement. And if they are doing a serialization, they have to do from this SAP module, then our requirement will always there. This is not the optional module like the companies are using a Salesforce for their customer services, okay, and a lot of other activities, contract, opportunities, all these things. They can use the SAP, they can use the Salesforce, okay, like that. But and they can use the outside of the system. But here the company has to maintain their serialization. If they do not do, they cannot sell their product. So that's what this is going to be remain in the market. So market requirement is that. So once the market or the country decide that they will serialize their product or all the medicine will be serialized in that country, then every manufacturer has to serialize the medicine whatever they are manufacturing. Now let's take an example of the US. First, at the manufacturer's end, okay, it was a mandate to serialize the medicine. Now after 2023, it is mandate in entire supply chain. Okay, in the entire supply chain from manufacturer to your wholesaler distributor, your wholesaler distributor to dispenser, everyone has to maintain the data, because once from the source, which is the manufacturer, is serialize the product, that every packet have a unique serial number, then everyone has to maintain that serial number in their repository to ensure they are selling the authentic product. Okay, so this is the market based requirement. Why the SAP ATTP? Because SAP has designed this specific module to take care of the government and serialization requirements. Now SAP ATTP is initially they have introduced in 2015. The initially when they introduced it, it was a very difficult to maintain that, because it was the first release, and you know that first release has a lot of bugs. It was a very difficult to sustain and support also, because many companies in the pharma company, they had a SAP ECC6, okay, they are not up to date. So what was the requirement? They have to update the patch label, lot of, then only they can use the SAP ATTP. And then maintaining a data interface, a lot of effort was required, a lot of manual activity customized has to be done. So what the companies did, they did not, like most of the companies, they did not adopted SAP ATTP initially. They went for the TraceLink. So that's what you can see that two of my friends are there in the TraceLink, because TraceLink was very good on that time. It was a lightweighted, easy to maintain. It is not like an ERP, it is specific to pharmaceutical. Okay, so that, and then they have a good APIs to connect with any external system to get the data. So that was the good thing. Due to that, most of the companies, pharmaceutical companies, they went for the TraceLink or any other software. Someone is speaking.
Yeah, Lokesh has joined. Okay. Lokesh, hello.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, all.
Yeah, hi.
Sam, do you want to give his introduction, Sam?
We can take once I finish that, we can
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
have an
Okay,
introduction.
fine. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So
Go
guys,
ahead. Yeah.
that time, the most of the companies have adopted this trace link. That's what you see, that your company and some other companies, they have a trace link, and some companies, they keep both. They adopted the SAP ATTP now, and they are keeping the trace link. I'll tell you why. Okay. So because, okay, I'll tell you later. So TraceLink, they have adopted, and in the meanwhile, the SAP has released version after version. They have improved their product. They resolved all the bugs, all the manual activation, a lot of things, and they made a lot of automations also. Master data replenishment and master data transfer, okay, transactional data. They improved the product like anything. So it was in a 2 version, then 3 version, and 3 version, there was a 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. And they also separated the integration also. Now the integration is being done from the SAP ICH. Earlier it was to be maintained from your interfaces, like you have to have a middleware like PIPO to connect with your customers or regulatory agencies. So they have made a separate kind of the middleware, which is SAP ICH. So now the module which we have, if I compare with the initial module, this is the 1,000 times easy to maintain and implement. Okay, it's a very, very easy. So that's what, when the other companies, they found this, now the SAP ATTP is now easy to maintain and it has a lot of features. So they started adopting the SAP ATTP. It happened since 2019, slowly. Okay, then rapidly it increased. Most of the pharma companies, they are now adopting the SAP ATTP. You name the big pharma, they have that. Okay, but some companies, that initially they adopted the trace link. Okay, so since it is heavily integrated or some data, still they are keeping it. So they are maintaining both system for three different processes, but slowly they will phase out the trace link. Believe me, they will phase out the trace link. Okay, and the future is for the SAP ATTP only. Slowly it will happen. Now, what is the benefit of keeping the SAP ATTP? Your master data is all master data, transaction data in SAP ERP, which is your ECC or S4HANA, right? So you need not to maintain the data in two different systems. Data you maintain in your ECC or S4HANA, it is replenished to the SAP ATTP in a one click. Right. So you need not to maintain a separate data and separate effort. You have to need not to keep the separate human power, manpower. Easy to maintain. One team can do all this activity because it's in same SAP's product. When it's a centralized, then it's a cost effective also. Right. You need not to keep your trace link support team. Okay, and then your own users, then SAP support team, your own users. Now you can have only one SAP team, and some people can maintain your SAP ATTP, some people can also support your SAP S4HANA or ECC. So one company can support your all these things because it's a SAP's product. So it's a cost effective also. So that's what the companies are rapidly going towards the SAP ATTP, and it is the future. So if we go towards the business process coverage, the pharmaceutical, yes, please. Okay. So if we talk about the business processes, the pharmaceutical industry have a specific processes. Okay, it's slightly different than the normal industry. It's not just like in a manufacturing. First, it is a pharma industry. Industry is very strict, and it is completely monitored by the internal and external bodies. When I say the internal, the company have their internal auditor, QA, regressively they follow everything, and external, when we say it's the FDA or regulatory agencies. They continuously monitor your process. They come for the surprise, like they come for the audit. They see all your process, and if there isn't a defect, okay, if there isn't a defect, then based on the severity of the defect, they will issue the warnings or suggestion or whatever. But it is highly monitored. Now here we talk about the business process. That is very normal. First one is the manufacturing from the manufacturer's end, that is, and then they manufacturing their own product, supplying it to the distributor, wholesaler, it goes to the dispenser, and then the patients. Second is the CMO, contract manufacturing organization. These are the specialized organizations who manufacture the medicine of others. The medicines are not their own. The companies who do not have a capacity of manufacturing or a specialized manufacturing plant, or they do not have a schedule, so they contract these kind of organization. They have a setup and everything, and saying, hey, can you manufacture my this product? Then they do all this project and everything, and then they manufacture for them, and after manufacturing they return them. So you can take in SAP's language subcontracting or contracting. Okay, so that's what these kind of the companies are calling the CMOs. So you can implement the SAP at the CMO's end, you can implement the SAP ATTP at the manufacturer ends. So this is the two we will cover definitely in our training. The third process is 3PL, third party logistics. So these are like a warehouse. You are the manufacturer, you manufacture in bulk, but you do not have a much space to keep your product. So what you do after manufacturing it, after serializing it, packing it, you are hiring a third party warehouse to keep your product over there. And once you get an order from the customer, you instruct those warehouse or 3PL to dispatch the product from their warehouse to your customer. So that is another process. Then repackager, that is also very interesting. Some company, they are manufacturing the medicine in bulk, tablets and capsules. There are the big bottles or vials. So one bottle have 5,000 tablets or 10,000 tablets, bulk quantity. So they manufactured and package in that, and then they do not have a complete setup of serializing the product or packing it, because they do not want to invest in that, or maybe they have a less of a space, or can be many things. So there are the specialized company who do the packaging. So after manufacturing in bulk, they send their this medicine to the repackager. They take out and then they package it based on the dosage, like 10 tablets in a strip you buy from your chemist or pharmacy, right? So there is like one strip have 10 tablets, 12 tablets, like that. So they package like that, and then they do the serialization. Same thing can have the like 10,000 tablets in a bottle, like, but the medicine is sold in the bottles. Like everyone have taken this leave 52 100 tablets or 50 tablets, same kind of tablets can come. So the bottles also they are doing, because that is the sellable unit. So they repackage it in a small bottle. So likewise we have a many business processes which we will cover. So those solution, like solution in a scope, will be also there. Third one is the GS1 and GS1 EPCI as a standard coverage. So GS1 is a global standard. Okay, why it is global standard? If you remember, I told you that every country who are going to implement the serialization, they have to keep their base same, globally same. Okay, so there is a globally same, technically and functionally they have to keep the same thing. But where this same thing is defined, it is defined by the GS1. It's a non-profit organization. They have offices in every country, but their corporate office is in US. So like in India, they have a GS1 India. It is in New Delhi. I went over there. So every country, GS1 Australia, GS1 Germany, every country have GS1 presence. So the first thing, like, they publish the best practices and saying that how the serialization process should be adopted. So everything is documented. How they do the repackaging, how they create a barcode, Okay, what will be the size, what data has to be encoded, everything is defined by them. But adopting their best practices in that country, it is depends on the government. They can adopt it or not adopt it. Okay, it depends on the government because they are not the regulatory bodies. They are just a non-profit. But making the process uniform across the globe, every country adopt their process. Uh, Simple. Now, content of the country packages available in SAP ATTP. So now, I said that US process is different than the European process. So every country has a slightly different requirement. Base process is the same, which is defined by the GS1, and top of that, they have their own process also. So they have defined that. So SAP, for that country's specific process other than the base process, if they have any, then SAP has provided the packages. Okay, so that through the packages we have to update. SAP has provided the update over there. Let's say tomorrow we want to uh, implement the Tatmin. So that we have to UAE process, that we have to integrate our system with the UAE's regulatory body Tatmin. They call it Tatmin. So for that, there are some special features. If we want to activate that, when we have to update the patch and other stuff. Okay, business functions. It's a kind of the configuration. We have to upload that, and then all the configuration and functionality will be activated. So likewise, whenever the new things comes, let's say for the Russia have a requirement for the crypto code. No country has a requirement, but requirement of that. But the Russia is required the crypto code with the serial numbers. So for that, SAP has provided the special package to activate the Russian requirements. Okay, so that we do with this technical solutions elements. We will talk about that. Architecture also we will talk, and integration and deployment models. We will talk about this also. So this is the SAP architectural and technical attributes. SAP ATTP is a system which manages the serial number and events. But this serial number and events, it also has to pass and communicate with the different system, because we have a multiple business partners or stakeholders in supply chain. Okay, so they have to communicate this data. So what basis they will communicate it? What are the technical attributes are there? We basically, like, let's say for first, let me go back. Yeah. So first, let's say for our ECC or S4HANA, we can integrate our SAP ATTP with the RFC and web services. These are the out of the box. When I say the out of the box, these are the standard. We have to activate some services, some RFCs, so that I will show you during the training. Those are basically the technical guys work, but if you are definitely you are the functional, and if you know that, it is better. It is always good. But generally this work has to be done by the technical guys. But for your knowledge, I will definitely teach you during the training for this. Okay, like warehouse toolbox, serial number replenishment, all these things are being done through the web services and RFCs. Another system which is very important in entire scenarios or entire serialization, which is the packaging line. Guys, this is the backbone system of entire process. Actually, this packaging line do everything. Okay, it packages the product, it serialize, it do commissioning, it do aggregations. Maybe these names are little like strange for you or the first time you are hearing it, but I'll ensure that during the training you are familiar with all these activities. So these all activities like making a packages, putting a small packet into the big packet, and making a parent-child relationship, and then making a pallet label. All these things has been done by the packaging line. And then all this activity is done, then it's sent back to ATTP. So how this can be done? 99% packaging lines are compatible of doing through the web services. But there could be scenarios. I have seen 2 3 companies, they have a different packaging line customized or something, which we have to integrate with the RFCs. Okay, special RFCs for that. So any kind of system is there, we can integrate easily either through the RFC or web services. 99%, like most of the packaging lines, let's say Optal is there, Jackson is there. I'll tell you these packaging lines also during the training. So they are compatible. Liters is there, all are. Then supply chain partner. Guys, end of the day, you have to send the serial numbers and the events to your supply chain partner. That is your customer, wholesaler, distributor. Because whatever the product quantity you are sending them, physical medicine, those serial number you have to give to them. That is a mandate now in for the US. So how we can connect that? SAP has provided the web services for connecting that. Okay, and there is another thing for the different systems, like REST is there. uh, Through that we can integrate. Okay, like AS2. So there are two things, AS2 and web services. So SAP is compatible with the web services, but if you work for other systems like your TraceLink and other, they are compatible with the AS2 also. Okay, so both ways we can connect with that. So what we do, whatever that, the serial numbers associated with the physical product which we are selling to them, all these serial numbers we have to send them. So we can send from my ATTP to their system through the web services. And then there is a CMO process also, because they provide us the serial number, then we start packaging. After doing the packaging, we have to send back the physical medicine. So those serial numbers also we have to send them through the integration. Then government systems are there, like Europe, as I said, China is there. Okay, your Middle East is there. Okay, so Europe and Middle East, we have to do like integrate with the web services, because we have to send all the serial numbers, events to their portal. Okay, but for the China, especially for the file, so China does not allow to integrate directly with their system. So what we do, FTP, file transfer. Okay, so we create a file, they provide us the centralized location, and we pass the file to that centralized location, and from there they consume it. So file transfer is for the China, and rest for the world we are using the web services. So these are like systems which are there, and we can integrate with SAP ATTP. SAP ATTP is compatible for connecting these systems very easily. Okay, like government system for Europe, Middle East. Okay, we can connect third party. If the company is using the Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, or any other third party ERP, SAP ATTP is compatible. Then our own SAP ECC or S4HANA or WM, EWM. Okay, all this system we can connect that. Third party warehouse system. So here the company use the, many companies use the warehouse system also, because when the pallet is going to the warehouse or cases are going to the warehouse, from there we have to dispatch it to the customer. So there we have to do the packaging again, or in the warehouse it can happen that package got destroyed, so we have to do destroy, we have to relabel, we have to do the repackaging. So all these activities is been done in the warehouse. So companies adopt the third party warehouse system, or they can use SAP's customized one, okay, to do this activity. Then packaging line, as I said, that we can easily integrate with the SAP ATTP. Local SAP ATTP. So here two SAP ATTPs are here. In this scenario, it will be there. Let's say your company is a big company, and it is a very common in pharmaceutical industry that big company, they always take over the small company. Okay, it always happens. Okay, so that small company have a SAP ATTP, and your company also have a SAP ATTP. Your company has take over that company. Now your company's ATTP will be centralized system, because it is going to communicate with the government or so many other stuff. Okay, so this will be local and this will be global. in that case. So you can connect that small company's ATTP system as a local system. SAP, local SAP AII, auto ID infrastructure. So before the SAP ATTP, there was definitely, because SAP designed modules for all the industry. So there was an old module SAP AII for the pharmaceutical industry. Companies are used to use this module AII. I don't know whether you have heard or not. It was famous in the pharmaceutical industry, but it has a limited capabilities. So when the serialization requirement came and it was enforced, they did the due diligence and found that SAP AII is incapable, completely incapable of taking care of serialization requirement. So instead of improving this product, they created a new system, new module. It's called the ATTP. So still the companies who are having some legacies data, legacies reporting, and they are still continuing that, they can do that. Not for serialization, but for some other activity. So SAP ATTP is compatible for connecting this system also. And definitely supply chain partners, this is for the customers, wholesaler, distributor, CMOs, 3PL, all this thing you can connect. So guys, you are seeing here this picture. It has a 2D barcode and some data. Okay, so this is the all, which is a mandate to print on the medicine package. Whether it's a bottle, it's a blister, or it's a carton, it is a mandatory wherever, like in US, Europe, okay. And if in India, if they are exporting the goods, so these are the mandatory things. For that, these things only we are doing the entire serialization activity. So these data, what are these data? This related to the product GTIN, global trade item number. This is expiry date, lot number, and serial number. So now if you see in India also, for your domestic market, the two things you always see when you purchase a medicine: expiry date, correct? Expiry date is always associated with the lot number, because under the one lot you can, or company can manufacture 50,000 quantity, and 50,000 quantity will have the same lot number and same expiry date, because under that lot 50,000 is manufactured. So if someone, think about it, say if some criminals or counterfeiter, they made a fake 10,000 medicine, okay, fake 10,000 medicine, copying the same lot number and expiry date, and put it in the supply chain, can you catch it? You can only determine if this product is counterfeit and fake once you do the lab testing, correct? Before that, there is no way, because these criminals are so clever, they make the packaging exactly same like original one. Duplicate medicines. So if you suspect something, you have to take out the tablets or medicine and do the lab testing. So that is the only way, with the lot label, like we are selling in Indian market. That's what out of 10 medicine, 4 are fake in Asian, Southern Asian countries. Okay. So that is a difficult. So for taking care of that issue, we did the serialization, that every packet will have a unique number, like you have a Aadhaar number, right? It's a unique to you. Maybe your name is common in India. There could be 100,000 people with the same name, but your Aadhaar number belongs to you. Maybe the other guys have the same name, but his Aadhaar number will be different. So what is your biological number? It is your Aadhaar number. The same thing is with these packages. Okay, so this serial number is like a unique number to this packet. This serial number for another medicine, like the another quantity, will not have the same one. It will have a different one. So maybe the batch number, expiry date under the same lot, it is the same, but the serial number will be different. Okay, so that's what we are doing, the serialization. So this is the supply chain. As I told you that initially we produce the medicines in a bulk. Okay, First, medicines and tablets are produced in the bulk, like 50,000 tablets. It's manufactured in tablets or in capsule, not like that. Like the production order will be 10 lakhs tablets, 5 lakhs capsules, something like that. And then it go for the primary packaging. So this is the primary packaging. Your tablets, individual tablets and capsules are packed into the strips, blister or bottle. Then it goes insert into the carton. Okay. And then once it's insert into the carton, that level we do the serialization. So packing of the blister into sales unit with the codification. Codification is this 2D barcode. Here we do the serialization. So our activities start from here. These two are the pre-activities. Okay, because we start our work from the packaging line. Then we do the multiple levels of the packaging up to the pallet level, and then we move it to the warehouse. From the warehouse we distribute it to the customer, and once we distribute it to the customer, those quantity which we physically supply to the customer, those serial number we report back to customer, and if required, those serial number we report to the government agency like EMVO for Europe and Tatmin for Middle East. This is the GS1 standard. GS1 is the global standard one. So there is a like what we are going to learn under this in SAP ECC or S4HANA to ATTP, that business partner, vendors, customer we maintained in the ECC and S4HANA. You know that before the ATTP also customer is always there, vendor is always there, because we need customer and vendor for our day-to-day transaction. So since those are already been there, so those customer we assign some data, serialization data like GLN or JTIN, okay, GLNs, and we send it to the ATTP. So we need not to create it again. No more effort. Locations like your plant, warehouse, okay, these are already been there in SAP ECC. We assign here the GLN and we move it to the SAP ATTP. We need not to create again. Same is with the trade item. It's your material master. Here we assign our JTINs and send it to ATTP. Same product code. Then we have a transactions. Let's say whenever we are receiving the serialized product from, let's say, manufacturer, we are the wholesaler. If we are receiving that, the serialization event has to be created, inbound deliveries. And whenever we are supplying the product, let's say I'm a wholesaler distributor and selling it to the dispenser or a small wholesaler, or I am the manufacturer selling it to the wholesaler. So whenever I'm selling it further, it will be outbound from my side. Then we also have a warehouse toolbox. So this is for the warehouse activities. As I said that at the warehouse level, we have to do repackaging, relabeling, lot of activities. So these are the RFCs, how the data is being transferred. We will see in the training also in details. So this is technical stuff. As I said that GS1, they publish the best practices to ensure that the data and all the countries are using the uniform process so that the data can transfer seamlessly between the systems. Okay, so that's what there are some technical things which we will cover, and I will provide the documentation also, not only standards but some of my customized level. Okay, so these are the encoding decoding, how the data to be encoded in that 2D barcode, and when the scanner, through the scanner we scan it, how the scanner will decode the data. It seems very technically, but I'll make it very easy. No need to worry if you are not technical. It's a very easy. Okay, I'll teach you. And repository, how the data is being stored. Earlier we were using the EPCIs 1.1, but since 2023 requirement came in force, supply chain requirement is to use the EPCIs 1.2. So what is the difference between EPCIs 1, EPCIs 2? I'll teach you, I'll show you, okay, and you will be familiar with this terminology. So this is the file format and the data which is moving from one system to another system in a structured way. GTIN is, whenever the GTIN is used with the serial number, like product, we assign a unique serial number, it became the SGTIN, serialized GTIN. Same is with the LGTIN. Whenever the product you manufactured a lot, it became a lot LGT. Business transaction, whenever you are like dispatching a product or doing inbound deliveries against a transaction like inbound deliveries or outbound deliveries, it's a business transaction. EPCI's events we will see like commission event, decommission, aggregation, disaggregation, destroy event, ship event, load event, okay, receiving event. All these event we will see there in the training. Then we have a business vocabulary. It's a vocabulary. Let's say if my system ATTP is saying commissioning and ATTP is sending a data to TraceLink. TraceLink also has to have the same vocabulary. Commissioning. It's a mandate. It cannot be that I am saying a commissioning and when the TraceLink is receiving and it is interpreting something different, then it will be invalid. So all the systems, whatever we have, okay, every system adopted the GS1 standard with the same vocabulary. And EPCI is captured notification that which notification like ship event and other or the reporting events they are captured. So that we will discuss in the training. So these are some introductions is there like the repository model. We will see the EPCI's data model. Encoding decoding we just talked about that. We also talked about this SGT. SSCC is for the serial shipping container code. Okay, so this is for pallet label serialization. Events, different events from manufacturer to wholesaler end. We will see that. Okay, each step. If we are like doing a serialization or maintaining a system at manufacturer end, what will be our activities? If we are doing at the wholesalers end, what will be our activities? Right? Your customer can be anyone. So you may get the opportunity to implement the ACCP at the ATTP at the manufacturer end or the wholesaler end, right? So what will be the activities? Reporting events, what are the regulatory reportings? Transaction with the production order or process order, deliveries, batches, captured, all these things we will see. This is completely packaging line. I'll give you a little bit overview here and in detail. I will teach you in the training, and I believe most of you haven't seen the packaging line, right? Because it is in the plant. And if you have worked in the IT company also, or maybe you're in IT, you generally sit on the corporate. Corporate does not have packaging. It's a very big thing. So I will give you a virtual tour step by step. I will present you, I will show you, okay? And you will see that how it works. You will have clear understanding, which is a mandate to understand that. So packaging line, how it works. So basically the packaging line, it has a server. Okay, any system has a server, and then they have individual lines. So in the packaging lines, we are packaging the product, but the line is communicating with the server, and server is communicating with the ATTP. Okay, so these are the different systems server. They integrated with the ATTP, and then they do in the line level. We start packaging. Let's say we are going to package 50,000 units. So we need a 50,000 serial numbers. So individual line will request to the server, and server will request to the ATTP. Based on the request, ATTP will allocate the 50,000 serial number, and server will allocate back to packaging line. And once the packaging line will receive this number, then they will start packaging. So after the primary packaging, they will do the secondary packaging like blister, folding, cartons, and then they will print the barcodes, they will serialize it, then they will do the second level of packaging, which is called the aggregations. Okay, and then they will do palletization. So once palletization is done, the packaging line is closed because they finished packaging of 50,000. So all the products, then it moves to the warehouse. Now in the warehouse, there can be good receipt, okay, sample put away. I told you that warehouse, there can be a multiple activities. And then finally goods issue. Whenever we receive the order from the customer, so we dispatch product from our warehouse to the customer. So once we dispatch the product physically to the customer, then we also send the serial number from our ATTP to customer system. So this is the packaging. In the training, we will complete and we will take care of the United States DSCSA requirements, VRS, there DSCSA 2023 is there. We will also complete the EU FMD, European, EMVO, NMVO, all this legal compliance and requirement. And if you are interested, we will also cover the DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trades. It has a requirement of IVEDA, integrated verification of exported drugs and authentication. This compliance also. Okay, so this we are going to cover in our training. All right, guys. So now let me show you system and then question answer. All right, so this SAP ATTP is similar to any other SAP, nothing different, but it is slightly different than the ECC. So I think after 20, not 2013, yes, after 2013, if SAP is releasing a new module, they are also coming up with the cockpit. So the difference is here that SAP ATTP has a cockpit. Cockpit means a centralized area where you can do all the transaction. You like in ECC or ECC, you need not to go menu wise menus and that one scroll by scroll or folder by folder. It's not like that. We have a cockpit. Okay, so cockpit, we click over here and then we have the data here. So we have a lot of data, like we can maintain the business partner which is integrated with the SAP ECC. We can maintain locally here, or we can replenish or get the data from SAP ECC. So there is a lot of customers you can see. So we can maintain the customers here as a customer, vendor, contract manufacturer, service provider, own organization. So we can maintain like that. So these are our business partners. Okay, then we have a locations. So location where the serialization activity is being done. It is a very important to identify that. So that's what the name itself is, track and trace. We can trace the origin where this activities happen. If the product is packed and commissioned, so we can track that which plant, which area it has been packaged. So that's what the name is, the traceability. For that, we have to maintain your plant or storage location here. Okay, so it is maintained in ECC and then we transfer here for the serialization activity. So here you can see that all the details are here, your plants and everything. Then we have a GTINs, that is nothing but your product master in ECC or S4HANA. So if it is a prescribed drugs or serialized product, then we assign a GTIN. After GTIN is a 14-digit number. If you are not familiar with these things, so we will take care during the training itself. Okay, so it's a 14-digit number we maintained in ECC or S4HANA, and then it transfer and replenish here. Okay, so these are here, and based on the packaging hierarchy, it comes over here. You can see all this. So there's a lot of data are there. We will take care during the training. Systems, as I said that in our landscape, we can have a multiple systems like customer system, okay, packaging line, or any other system. So let's say this is the packaging line, let's say, and what kind of system we have. So we can create the systems. There are the options. We have like local system, we can create ATTP local, SAP ERP system, we can integrate with that. SAP warehouse system, okay, SAP WM, EWM is there. SAP AII system, I told you that still if we are using it. Other external system, these are the customer system. Any customer, CMO, their systems are here, or yeah, customer, CMO, 3PL, all these systems are. External warehouse system, that is external, not the EWM, but the external. like many companies, they buy the external warehouse system for their warehouse activities. Okay, so that we can integrate with the ATTP. Fixed device, these are your packaging line. Mobile device like your scanner, your printer. Domestic reporting system, if you are reporting to your local bodies, local government. And foreign reporting system, if you are in foreign, let's say you are in India and you want to report the data to EMBOs, then you will be treated as foreign reporting system. OMS system, it's for Russia, okay, for crypto and other stuff. So these are the system we can define and design here. Then we have a serial numbers, like main thing is the serial number. So serial number can be random, can be sequential, can be 12-digit length, 14-digit length, 16-digit length. Like in Europe, there you cannot keep sequential serial number because it is very easy to guess. So it has to be randomized 1 by 10,000. But in US, it's not required. You can keep the sequential, you can keep as randomized. So likewise, what are the rules? Which country have a different rule? How we can maintain the serialization attributes? All these things we will see over here. Then lot label. So lot is, if your product is serialized, then that lot will come automatically over here. That is called the auto replenish. For that we have to do some setting. I'll take care of that during the training. We have a serialized trade items. So that means each and every serial number. Let's say you have a 50,000 units you serialize. So 50,000 serial number you used for each and every packet. So you can see the individual serial numbers here. Whether it is dispatched to the customer, it is in my warehouse, okay, it is still in under the packaging, or it is still we have just allocated to packaging line is still to be packed. So all this thing, individual serial number, individual packets status, you can see that. Same is with the container. At the pallet level, you can see what happened to the pallet. You can see that it is in progress, it is unpacked. So that means the pallet is ready. Okay, it is received in the warehouse. It is in my warehouse. It is, you can see here, it is in a shipped. So that means I have shipped it to the customer. It is not in my warehouse, but these two pallets are in my warehouse. So I can track each and every pallet where it is. Events, we have a lot of events, as I told you that. Let me show you. So that we will take care of the training also during the training. So you can see we have a commissioning event, decommissioning event, okay, packing, loading, receiving, lots of events we have. So each and every events we can track over here. Then we have a reporting events. So whatever we are reporting to the government, all these events will be here based on our setup configuration. Okay, so you can see the EU reporting product pack data. It is for the US reporting, sending the EPCI's file or serialization information. Okay, all this setting we can do and we can see over here. Business transaction, like with the inbound delivery or outbound delivery, if we are shipping to the customer or we are receiving from the customer, you can see that this ADB dispatch is there from the production order, from the PO purchase order. Okay, so we can do the business transaction based on the transaction type. Authentication, that is, let's say customer suspected one product, it's a fake, but he do not know the serial number is original or not. So we can authenticate that serial number behalf of customer whether it is manufactured by us or not. So that is called the authentication. That is also related with the VRS, verification router services. It is a very interesting topic, but this is also can be done with that. So this is here, this is from the front side, and top of that we will also learn the configuration. Okay, so in the configuration we will learn all the part which is necessary for us to configure any system during the rollout, implementation, or the support. Okay, we have a like system customizing. We will learn how to make a logical system group, or how to define the number range for the business partner, or number range for your serial number profiles. We will see the CVV, all these things, how the terminology has been designed and how this CVV core business vocabulary has been set up over here. We will also see the encoding decoding. Under that we will learn how to configure the company prefix, how to delete the company prefix, okay, how to check the company prefix, what are the GS1 application identifier AI, right, like 0, 1, 17, 10, 21, all these things we will see and we will learn in the training. Elements like when we scan the 2D barcode, how the system will scan it and interpret the data. Then authorization management. Generally in the authorization is been done by the basis team, but some extent we can also authorize at the GLN level that these users can only work in this plant, or they can do the events or created events on that particular plants only. Okay, they are not authorized like the users or the person who is working in, let's say, Bangalore. He cannot do any events in the Hyderabad because he is not working in Hyderabad. So we can authorize, we can control that through the authorization management. Then we will see the serialization setting. This is also very important, that serial number for that particular country. Okay, the serial number will be generated for the product will be random or sequential, or it will be alphanumeric or numeric, or it has a 10-digit length, 12-digit length, or 14-digit length. What will be the in security features, like some of the exclusion numbers, that my serial number will never generate with the 932, this number will never happen. So all this setting we can do that, okay, based on the business and country's requirement. Rule, it's mandatory to learn, because rule controls all your events. This situation, what event to be generated, let's say we are if we are shipping it to US, then it should generate the EPCIs file and send it to the customer. But if we are dispatching anything to the Europe, then it should generate the regulatory requirement, product pack data reporting. So this product pack data reporting should not generate for the US. So all this setting we are doing over here for the rules. Okay, based on that, system identify at which situation what kind of transaction has to be done. So this is very important. Your interview, 1 question, 2 question will be definitely from here. Reporting customizing, that is also important. Let's say for the European customer, we are using normal EPCIs file. CMO customers, we are using EPCIs 1.11. For US customer, it is EPCIs 1.2. So customer to customer, how we can vary, how we can create the schema. Okay, schema version, that in the file it will contain the commission event, aggregation event, and ship event. Let's say for Europe, aggregation is not mandatory, so the file will only generate for commission and ship event, no aggregation. So all this requirement we can take care of over here. Then we will also learn your error handling. Okay, error handling, this is very important. If you are working on a support project, you should know how to handle the errors. So we will take care of that. And then after that we will explain end-to-end implementation process, because it's a pharma industry. It is not your normal industry where you have implemented SAP. Here are some check and balance are there for implementation. Other than technical, lots of documentations are required step by step. Okay, so mainly during the interview, the guys are trying to understand. Maybe you are not technically, don't have that much experience. That is okay. But if you are process oriented and know all the steps and the documentation required for implementation, you are good. That's the main criteria for hiring a guy. Okay, so that we will take care of that. And let me open another thing. Give me a minute. So guys, these are the course content. We have so many things. Okay, so total we have 15 topics. So 15 topics, we have introduction, all these activities we will do. Technical integration, ECC S4HANA. So this is the advantage of training with us. We will show you the integration also. This is 90% chances are there. They will ask the question, how did you integrate, or how can you integrate. Then master data, lots of master data, different master data we will learn over here. Then we will also see the system, external system integrations, serial number management. We will have the repository browser and transactional data, like with your delivery, outbound delivery, how you can integrate with that. And then you have a core business vocabulary. Under that, a lot of things we will learn to make our process uniform. Data encoding, decoding, how the scanner will do that, rule customizing, understanding EPCI's file, what is the difference between 1.1, 1.2, why we required it, okay, what is the URN format, because what we see in the system, the file basically understand differently. It is not exactly in the same way. So you should interpret that. You can only interpret, you can only support effectively one if you know how to interpret the EPCI's file. So that is completely covered in our training. And then reporting, okay, EU reporting, US reportings are there, error handling is there, onboarding activities, how you can onboard the new customer, new CMO, what are the activities has to be done, end-to-end implementation and interview preparations. So these are the things which we are going to cover, all right? And the timings or the total contents standard is 25 hours, but it can go up to 30, 35, but the standard is 25 hours training. All right, now questions.
So any BTP integration is there in regards to this?
We don't need a BTP. Okay, so basically we integrations are there with the ICH. And ATTP does not need BTP. So if you have a ECC or S4HANA, from there you can do for your customers, wholesaler, your packaging line. We have ICH for that. And directly for your packaging line, we can use the ATTP. So BTP, as of now, I haven't seen that we have used, especially in ATTP.
Hi Sam, this is Anil.
Yeah.
So for ATTP, like for understanding the things and being a functional consultant for ATTP, is it required to be having the knowledge of MM and EWM as well?
I would say that even you don't need a SAP knowledge also. Okay.
Uh,
You can start from scratch.
no,
Okay.
no, that's okay. What I'm saying is like, if you are a ATTP consultant, what all things expected from you, like knowledge of only ATTP is enough, or MM
It
and
is
EWM
expected
need to
from
be
you.
learned?
Okay. Let's say you are in a project have a two
Uh,
team. Okay, so there is a MM consultant, SD consultant, FICU consultant, WM consultant, all consultants are there. Okay, and then there is a
mhm.
ATTP consultant, right? So
Yeah,
ATTP consultant expected to work on the ATTP system. In real time, you will not have an authorization to do the MM work because you are not the MM guys. Like in MM
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
can you do the FI work? No, right?
No, that is not possible.
Exactly the
But
same
there
way
is,
you are going
uh,
to be joined as a ATTP consultant, not MM consultant. But if you have a MM MM knowledge, that is always good. Much knowledge is always good, but
yeah,
it is
but
not
yeah,
mandatory.
yeah. Okay, if it's search any job on any module of SAP, no, there won't be any
Exactly.
specific module. There will be like 3, 4 modules. MMSD, PP, QVM, like that. There
Exactly.
won't
So
be any job for specific one module. So that's why I asked.
yeah, I can tell you my story. When I was in working as a SD, I thought to have more modules. Okay, some modules which is not going to be expire nearby. Okay, because this SD, MM, FI, they are already in a saturated point, and there are so many guys. Correct. So I
Yeah.
wanted to go to into this one module which could be there at least for 10 years. And believe me, still I am here, and I'm not saying next 10 years I'm going to be out over there. I know SD, I told you that 15 years experience I had, but now I'm completely ATTP guy or the serialization guy. Forget about ATTP, I'm serialization guy. Okay,
Yeah.
so now rapidly when you are into over there, you need not to be like, go back to MM, because here's a lots of scope are there.
Yeah, but I am thinking the same. But if I go and search for the ATTP jobs, no, it's totally too hard.
Okay,
Like,
now giving you another example, let's say recession is there, you can work as an MM.
oh,
Correct.
yeah.
Who is stopping you to
So
learn more and more module?
yeah, that's not the, yeah, we can learn as much as we want.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, like, is it mandatory, like required, or it is just our wish?
See, it's up to you. When you learn the MM, initially it was a mandatory for you. No, right? So you learned it.
No, no, no.
Then you became a
Yeah,
consultant. No one enforce you when you college graduate to go for SAP MM, right? You can be an Oracle guy, you can be a developer. The same thing is with here. But if you start a career in serialization in SAP ATTP, there is a endless opportunities. Where the other modules you have a limited opportunities.
yeah, I got it. Okay.
All right. Anyone else
Hello.
have any question?
Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
What is difference like TraceLink is better or SAP?
Uh, Actually, that's a very good question. I work in 3 different systems. Okay.
Okay.
So if you ask me, this TraceLink is very good because they are not the ERP. First, okay, they are not the ERP.
Okay.
Whereas SAP is a ERP system. It's a
Yeah,
heavy
bigger
system.
one.
It's
Yes.
a heavy system, very heavy, highly integrated, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So in the mid organization, it works very good. It's a very nice. But
Yes.
ultimately, think about the companies. They have the SAP, right? Now they
Yes.
have to
Yes.
they have to hire the tracing consultant. They have to hire the SAP consultants, right? And then they
Yes. Yes.
also need to be closely monitored with these two systems integration, data replenishment, all this. So it is an additional headache. So
Yes.
that's what I tell that future these company will go into eventually in the SAP ATTP, even the mid-level companies also. I'm not saying that TraceLink will be out of the market, okay? But see from the
Mhm.
company's perspective, it will be the cost saving, it will be efficiently, okay? Everyone thinks about that. And then it's a less like they need not to monitor that much regressively currently they have to do here because if there are the multiple systems issues are also there, right? Sometimes data is not there. uh, they have to maintain manual some data in TraceLink, some data in SAP ATTP. It is not going from one system to another system. It happens, right? The future, I'm
Yes.
talking about the future. You can see about the companies also, some companies are keeping both system. Why they now go for the SAP ATTP, but after some time they will phase out this TraceLink, and that is going to be happen because I understood this thing very clearly in 2019, and since then many companies have adopted SAP ATTP.
Okay. So any other Oracle we have software in for
We have
ATTP like?
TraceLink. I'll say you that TraceLink is there, RFXL is
Yeah.
there, Verify brand is there. I can tell you 20 different systems, but the SAP ATTP is leader. I told you I work in 3 different systems.
Yeah. Oracle does not has any ATTP.
No. For the
Okay.
serialization, no, they don't. So ATTP is the name of the SAP's product. Generally, this process is called the serialization.
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So
So
top three, if we consider SAP and TraceLink are better.
they two are the leaders as of now. Earlier, the
Okay.
TraceLink was the leader, top one. Okay. Now SAP
Okay.
ATTP is taking the spot. In
So
few years,
TraceLink is not a ERP.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Okay,
not
sir.
an ERP. I'm talking about the serialization's perspective. TraceLink was the leader if you talk about 2-3 years back. Okay.
Okay.
Now in 2-3 years, the paradigm has been shifted from TraceLink to ATTP.
Yes.
Okay. And going forward, TraceLink will be for the less companies and more company will have the ATTP. There is the LSPDIA. You may have heard about that, right? It's a lighter than your TraceLink.
Okay.
It's a very, very light. And the companies who have the less budget, only one plant, small level of there, they are going with the LSPDIA. But slowly, maybe in few years, most of the 80% company will be in the ATTP. And 20% will be market share will be in the TraceLink, RFXL, LSPDIA, all these companies, Verify Brand, Axway, all these companies.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So
Yeah.
SAP market will be increasing.
It's increasing rapidly. If we see the reports, it's increasing because big
Okay.
companies they are heavily dependent on SAP. Ultimately, they have to go with the SAP's module.
Even if it is costly.
As of now, it is costly. See, the one time it is a costly, but see about the support and see about for the next 5 years.
Yes.
Next 5 years, it will be break even, and after that, it will be cheap. Let's
Yes.
say
Yes.
we have
Correct.
a SAP ATTP and we hired IBM or Cognizant. So only one company
Yes.
can support my ECC or S4HANA and ATTP, correct? Now
Yes.
for
Yes.
ECC, I have to hire the, let's say, Cognizant, and for TraceLink company itself is there. And
Yes.
then two companies are fighting with each other for the integration of the data. They're saying their problem, they're saying their problem. Then I have to have my own team also to monitor this,
Correct.
correct? So that problem
Correct.
is there.
Yeah. Integration. Yeah. You have data validation. Yeah.
Lot
Correct.
of things we have to do in both systems.
Yes. Yes. Agreed.
If this is over, can I ask you
Yeah,
something?
go ahead.
Okay. Actually, in our company, right? So it's a healthcare company. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever the products we are receiving from the vendors, so they're
Mm-hmm.
already printing the barcode on the product. So they're also
Yes.
following the GS1 standards. And
Mm-hmm.
when it is received to our warehouse, we are scanning the information and uh, actually we are reporting to the government portal. So they are given some APIs, so we are using those APIs, and then whenever we do the grns and issues, we are integrating that information through that APIs directly to government portal. So
Which
in this
country?
case,
Which for which
it's in
country you are?
Dubai. It's in Dubai.
Which? Yeah. So that is Dubai. They use the Tatmin,
Yeah, correct.
right?
So
Okay.
yeah, correct, that mean. So
Mm-hmm.
and Saudi also. Saudi
Saudi,
also.
they are using the SFDA, but that is not because this UAE complete, they are using the Tatmin, not Saudi is a different one.
Okay, actually,
Mhm.
in Saudi, as you said, that SFDA, right? So we are
Yeah.
integrating with SFDA portal. So
Mm-hmm.
they are giving some of the APIs. We are using
Mm-hmm.
those APIs. We're just
Okay.
directly whenever we do the GR in our system, the
Yeah.
information will go to the SFDA through the APIs.
Correct.
So in this case, what is the importance or significance of the ATTP here? Since we are directly consuming the APIs of the SFDA portal.
Sir, you have to, like you are consuming. So first you have to do the GRN, right? You are
Correct.
receiving from the vendor.
Mm,
So you have a physical product, it has a 2D barcode, correct? It has a serialized data and other things. So when you are scanning it, where it is validating that this product is authentic or not. So you are scanning it and then you are validating and storing some this data somewhere, correct?
correct.
So your
So
ATTP received the data from your vendor. in your repository, then you are scanning it and you are validating, okay, this product is authentic. It did not change physically during the supply chain or transfer. So that the data they sent and that we receive it. Correct. So you keeping over there.
So
Now
in
you
a
have to,
simple way, I'm sorry to cut you. Just I wanted to add one more point. So whatever the barcode which you are receiving from the vendor, either a 2D barcode or QR code or linear barcode, whatever it is. So when you scan it, the this ATTP is validating that information. That
exactly.
validation is the main point here, right?
Yeah. First is the validation because it is an authentic product. Then only you are going to report it to the government body. So now the government is providing you some APIs. Okay.
Yes, correct.
How you are receiving it? You have to receive it in some system, correct? And then you
Yes,
have to associate those serial numbers with that API and then report it back, correct?
yes.
That is done by the ATTP system. So all the serialization activities is being done this system. You cannot do it in Excel or Word and then sending it over there,
So
because when we are hold on, when we are communicating with the government, the communication of the data has to have in a spatial structure. Okay, spatial format and spatial structure, data structure, technical data, then
yes.
only their system will accept it. So all the conversion of those structure, putting the data in a right format, all these thing is being done by the ATTP and then connecting with the government and transferring the data.
Okay.
So these are the work because the data has to be transferred in a secure way. Right. So that is the
Yes.
there, because no one can send the data like you are just mailing them and sending the data, they will accept it. No, they will create a secure communication channel. If the data is coming from this channel only, then we will accept it. Otherwise, it is unauthorized. So lot of things over there, you will have a complete clear understanding in the training.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Yeah. So in this training, are we going to cover like L3 to L4 integrations as well?
Everything, sir.
Okay.
L3, L4 is the main thing. We will integrate that. We will
Yeah.
show in the system itself how the data flow. Although this is a
Mm.
standalone system, but for L3, L4, yes, we will see that technically and functionally both.
Okay.
Any other question? All right. If no other questions are there, then please let know ExpertSoft about your eagerness to join this training, and based on that, we will schedule weekday or weekend sessions. Okay. So let me tell you. So if it is a weekdays, then it will be 1 hour daily, 5 days. And if it is a weekend, then it will be 2 hours Saturdays, 2 hours Sunday, 4 hours a week. Okay. So training duration could be around 2 months, but it can be extended also, because based on my understanding that people need more time to do the practice to come up with the level, I slow down. So it can go up to 3 months also, because I have no rush to complete just a training. I want to create a quality consultant in the market, right? So that they can remember, okay, there wasn't a guy who trained us. So that is my main goal, not to finish the training, but to create a quality consultant, so that in this serialization, I love it. I have a passion on that. So in the serialization, we have a rightful resource, good resource, knowledgeable resource. So that is my goal. Okay. So thanks everyone. Let know your decision to Naveen, and they will let me know for scheduling the training session. And yes, so documentation, special documents I will provide during the trainings. Okay, lots of documents I have. For each and every step, I have a document. All right, guys. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank,
Bye bye.
thank